In this video, I'm going to teach you how to draw overlapping ribbons. A lot of the rules that apply to overlapping ribbons also apply to overlapping the forms in a still life, such as cone, cylinder, sphere, cube. When your picture is finished, it should look like this. I left this example unfinished so you could see the difference of adding a true black to your value scale. The white ribbon stands out a lot more on the black background than they do on white or even a dark gray background. I'm going to start by drawing two parallel lines. These are lines that go in the same direction but never intersect. These create the two sides of the ribbon. When the ribbon curls, the two sides of the ribbon go in the same direction. Ribbons can curl in many different ways, so don't worry if your ribbon doesn't end up looking like mine. Yours may look a little different. As long as both sides of the ribbon remain parallel, your curled ribbon will look realistic. And the shadowing that I'm about to teach you and the value scales that you're going to be putting in, that will help a lot as well. We're going to talk about shading now. You want to make sure that you shade in the same direction as the ribbon underneath. You never want to go across the way that the underneath ribbon is going. So in this case, the underneath ribbon is going vertically and the overlapping ribbon is going horizontally. We're going to start at the intersection, going from dark to light. The more values you can put in, the smoother the transition will be, and the more realistic the ribbon will look. You don't want a shadow that's too extreme, that goes from super, super dark to light. You want to make sure that that edge of the ribbon is nice and crisp, and you want to, again, keep shading in the same direction. It is super important that you always go parallel to the edge of the under ribbon. The shadow goes in the exact same direction as what is being shadowed. All right, now the next part is generally when you are hiding behind a corner or you're curling around an edge, that edge has a rounded shadow on it. So we're going to come around, we're going to do curved lines right around here. Maybe bring them in just a little bit so we got that nice transition so it's not just dark to white. Same thing right here. You don't want it to be an outline. You want it to be a shadow that's coming around the edge. And there you have it. This is our way of making a curled ribbon. I can't wait to see what yours look like on your curled ribbon project, and I will see you shortly for the next ribbon design. We're going to begin drawing a twisted ribbon. To start, you're going to draw one wavy line. Then you're going to draw a second wavy line that's parallel, but at certain points it overlaps at a point. This intersection, the ribbon is being cinched or squeezed together, and so it's going to be really, really dark because very little light can get in there. I think we should do another twist. Let's do a second twist. And so we just make two X's essentially. So as I said, when shading the twisted ribbon, the points at which they meet are going to be very, very dark, especially on one side because very little light can get in to this cinched or squeezed part. And we want to transition, so you're going to do dark, medium, and then light. And one side of the ribbon can be a little darker, and then darker medium, and then darker light. And the other side can be medium, and then light. Now we're not done yet because this ribbon is being overlapped by the other ribbon. And wherever there's an overlap, there is a shadow cast. So right at the edge of the first ribbon, we are going to make our darkest part of the cast shadow, and then we are going to gradually spread out from there. Do not forget the part of the ribbon that goes underneath that shadow should be going in the same direction, parallel to the two edges of the ribbon. We're going to do this on both sides of this overlap and wherever any future overlaps are. Next, we're going to do a wavy ribbon. This is probably the simplest ribbon. We're going to draw a wavy line, and then again, all ribbons have two sides, so we have to draw a parallel wavy line. Now, wavy ribbon, we're going to do this one over at least one ribbon and under at least one ribbon so that we can create some variety in our picture, but not be too complicated. We're going to erase the parts that are under, and we're going to go over the parts that are over top. This ribbon follows everything you learned about a curled ribbon. We are going to be shading whichever part of the ribbon is underneath. We are going to start from our darkest part, which is the part of the ribbon that is touching the other part of the ribbon, or the part that's closest to the intersection. And then we're going to gradually get lighter as it gets further away from that intersection. We're going to do this at all intersecting points. This next part I'm going to show you a fold or a bend. I'll go into more detail about this in a little bit. But essentially you're just doing an overlapping line that is perpendicular, going the opposite direction of the ribbon. And then you are going to shade the under part of the ribbon, the part that is under the fold, from dark to light. Now we are officially going to learn the bent ribbon. We're going to start by creating a rainbow, and then we're going to create a smaller N or rainbow inside there. I'm going to make my lines a little darker so you guys can see them better. Don't worry if they're under or over, we can fix that later. Now we need to draw the part of the ribbon, the second edge that is draping down, and we just created our fold with the drawing. We're going to add the shadow to this bended ribbon by shadowing the under ribbon parallel to the direction of the two sides of the ribbon coming down. We're going to go from dark to light on both sides of the ribbon. Now, just like we did with the curled ribbon, we are going to shade the rounded part, or the part of this bent ribbon that is curling around the edge. We're going to start dark and then we're going to come up light. But we don't want this to be as dark as the shadow underneath, because that part is hidden from the light a lot more than this rounded edge. To complete this ribbon, we have to shade the wavy ribbon underneath where the bent ribbon is creating a cast shadow. We don't want to leave a cast shadow undrawn. So again, we are going from dark to light at the edge where the bent ribbon goes over the wavy ribbon. Now that you are all done drawing your ribbons, 6 at least, we are going to create a contrast to make your ribbons pop out more by adding black with a Sharpie. You're going to start by outlining your ribbons. This is to make sure when you're coloring that you don't accidentally get some scribbles or some marker where you don't want it to go. Now, the smaller the strokes you do with your marker, the longer the marker will last. If you do bigger strokes, your marker is going to look dried out, and you're also going to have what I like to call mouse holes, which don't look very good on this picture. You want a nice smooth black, and you want to travel with your marker in the same direction.